I'll let you in on a little secret on how to grow a more productive garden. The secret is, and what I was taught for years, is you wanted to have nice straight rows with individual crops in each one of those rows, and I get that. If you're going to use machines, that makes it easy. Einstein that said doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is a definition of insanity. Well, I got tired of not having a very good harvest. With my background in continuous improvement, I had to find a way that made more sense. Now, the first time I ever did this, it felt so unnatural. You can't take grass clippings and just put them on your garden. You can't put them around your peanuts and your tomatoes that are in the same row. That is wrong, but it's not. This actually works really, really well. And after you get over that first shock of bringing in that grass and putting it down and seeing the results, now it's old hat. And what we're doing now, we're just cleaning up the first round of corn. And yes, it's just cut and drop. And it feels very unnatural. I can never get enough of any one thing, so I just mix it all together. And it's sort of kind of mixed mulch gardening. That's what we've come up with. Now, I did say we were going to harvest today, so we're going to go ahead and get the rest of this corn off, and we're going to look at a few more things. My biggest problem is I've expanded the garden so much, I can't get any one of those organic materials. So we've just started mixing it together. And yes, this is deep mulch, but it's more of a mixed mulch garden, and it works really well. And while we're here, let's go ahead and start harvesting. When I take a tomato at blush, it's already turned color. It's only a couple days from being completely red. And as we know by the college studies, this has stopped taking anything from the plant. So I want to take this before the bugs get after it, because that's a beautiful tomato. Put it on the counter, it's going to ripen just fine. See what else we have. As we're cleaning up the corn, we did have a couple of the first ears left. We had quite a few of the second and third ears on these stalks. Let me finish cleaning this up and then we'll finish harvesting. And as we cut these back, we're just cutting them off at the ground. We're leaving the roots in to help promote the life in the soil. And in between, as we've been cutting this off, we got beets and we got squash. And honestly, where I came up, if I would have been doing this in the garden, I probably would have got whooped. Grew up on the end of a hoe. Don't leave that garbage out there on the garden. You get that out of there. It's not garbage. First of all, this is carbon. It's going to help sequester carbon and keep it in the soil. Second, it feeds the life in the soil. We just chop it into little pieces, let it fall. Becomes part of the mixed mulch. And we're done cleaning up round one of the corn. As you see, the suckers we put in the ground yesterday aren't just flopped over. I think we got a good chance of having some really nice plants here. But I also see something else you can plant right now. The peas died back, and we went ahead and put in some cucumbers. We want to keep these trellises going. Well, we got one pea over there that's still hanging on. But this is going to be our second or third round of cucumbers. Since I intend to continue to plant, what now looks like an open area is just another space to put seeds in. We're going to do that tomorrow, and I hope you join me for that. But for right now, let's take a look at round 3 of the beets, see if there's anything we want, anything big enough to bring in. That's beautiful. And you know I plant heavy. And so what we've been doing is every night coming out and getting 1 or 2 just for dinner. That thins them out and it allows the rest to continue to grow. This way of harvesting has done pretty good for us. We've been able to bring in fresh food every day. Let's see if we got any turnips. Now, a lot of people say they don't like turnips. But you let them get any kind of size to them, they do start getting peppery tasting. You take them at this size right here, and this size right here, those are wonderful. Our strategy with the turnips are the same as with the beets. We're just taking a few, helping thin this out, and allows the rest to grow. Now, our carrot hat carrots, I haven't pulled any of these yet to see what we got in here. We got white ones. Those are growing pretty good. And we'll go ahead and do the same with these as we've done with everything else. That helps thin them out, because I did plant them very heavy. And then you get distracted and have to grab a couple more tomatoes. See what else we have. We got some of these lemon cucumbers. We got a bunch of little ones in here. Can you believe we already got a volunteer watermelon setting? Kind of what I was looking at. Getting a couple of these jalapenos. Get a couple nice jalapenos for dinner. Ooh, there's a ton of little ones coming on. That's gonna be great. See what else we got for peppers. That's a pretty good batch of jalapenos. I think we're going to take some bananas in. Those can go a little bit. My goal is to only really pick what we can eat in a day or so. And right now everything's coming on really well. It's going to outrun me here, I think. Oh, these are nice. In this row right here, I went Serrano, I went Reaper, I went Ghost. That is just loaded. And that's going to be a hot little bugger too. But we got an Anaheim. Yeah, that one's looking pretty good. But look at this one. Get in there. Look at that. That Anaheim's ripened up nicely. It's going to be a hot dinner tonight. I got my clippers today. Let's cut a bunch of grapes. Those are the first grapes I've ever grown. These aren't. We had to share some with the critters, but we're getting some. I don't think I'm going to be making award-winning wine this year. Growing up on Navajo, I never thought we could grow anything like this. We got some damage, but some of these are still good. So round one of the corn is gone. Round two is making ears. Sweet potato patch is starting to kick in also. Now our first round of cucumbers is pretty much done. That's why we're planting more. We actually have some seeds there that haven't come up yet. But evidently we hit just at the right time. This year they got attacked by vine borers, and I can see some damage in here. Of course they don't damage them the same way they damage the squash, but it was the wrong time and it didn't help these at all. Although this squash is looking pretty good. It's taking the place on the trellis. We got a little hope for that one. We'll see what we get. And then we got our little patch of okra, but these are miniature okra. They're not going to be the 12-footers, so I put these in the wrong part of the garden. Or did I? Well, that one's not going to make it into the house. This is why we do it, because it tastes great. And it is sort of a chaos garden, just like nature. Seeds fall where they fall. We've got a lot of volunteers this year. They're doing well. Got a volunteer cucumber back in there. It's doing better than the one we planted. And you saw the watermelon on that volunteer. We got volunteer tomatoes, volunteer beans. Lots of things are coming up. Part of that's due to the cut and drop. And if we have viable seeds, they make it into the mulch. Just like right here in front of this raised bed, we are going to have cilantro coming up. We're also going to have carrots coming up. I'm letting these dry out, but some of them have dried. Some of them have dropped a few of the seeds. But we're going to have tons and tons of seeds off of this, so I'm in no hurry. But this is an example of when you let your seeds dry, you're going to have some scattered right where they're at. So here's the secret to getting a better harvest. Once I started going against what I was taught, started putting down the mixed mulch, I've been able to come out, pick something every day. There's really not much of a secret. Everything that you were normally throwing away or discarding, but it will go against the grain until you do it a couple times. Piling up all your old scraps, your leaves, your wood chips, your fresh mown grass. Anytime you can get some hay or straw, shredded newspaper. I take the envelopes that come in, take the little cellophane out, shred that up. I add that to the garden. By doing this mixed mulch gardening, You got very little weeding to do, your watering's a lot less, and your production's a lot higher. And I really do mean the hardest work you're ever gonna do in a mixed mulch garden is harvest. And if you want that kind of problem, you might want to consider doing something like this. You can see what we got going on. And summer's just started. We got 100 days. We're going to do a little more planting this weekend, and I hope you join me for that. You can do this too. Until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.